Hey AI enthusiasts, today I have absolutely incredible news for you that will completely turn the tech world upside down. And I'm dead serious about this because OpenAI has just presented something that will really change everything. Not just a little bit, but in a fundamentally revolutionary way. This is not an exaggeration, but pure reality. And you'll understand why in a moment.
So last year, we launched O1, which was the first model in our O series of reasoning models. These are models that differ from traditional models in that they think for a long time before they come up with an answer. And usually, the longer they think, the better the answer that they come up with. One of the limitations, however, of these models is that they don't have access to tools. And one of the really core missing tools is the ability to browse the internet. What this means is that a lot of the things that we use in everyday life are now not accessible to the model. So we'd like to announce a next big step. We are introducing a capability called deep research.
With deep research, we now have a personal research assistant that searches the entire internet, and not just superficially, but really dives deep into the subject matter. An assistant that truly understands what it reads and even recognizes complex connections that sometimes even experienced experts miss. And the crazy thing is, this assistant works day and night for you, analyzes thousands of documents in different languages, understands complex scientific studies, and all this at a speed that would be impossible for humans. This is exactly what OpenAI's new technology called deep research makes possible. And as OpenAI's research director, Mark, puts it, OpenAI is interested in agents because they believe they will transform knowledge work. They will help companies optimize their processes and make employees more productive, but it will also be really important for consumers. What sets it apart from all previous AI systems is its ability to really go deep. And as Mark explains, they deliberately remove the model's time constraints. Usually models return their answers relatively quickly, but deep research models can take 5 minutes, sometimes even 30 minutes, before coming back with an answer. And this isn't a bug, but a feature, because they believe it's important for their models to start working on tasks autonomously and unsupervised for long periods. This is also an important part of their AGI roadmap, because their ultimate goal is a model that can discover new knowledge independently. And the first step toward that is a model that can find, synthesize, and understand information on the internet. Let's dive straight into the details, but first an interesting fact. The OpenAI team made the announcement live from Tokyo, where they're currently working with important partners. This already shows how significant this development is, because OpenAI usually always makes such announcements from their headquarters in San Francisco. Interestingly, it's based on the O1 model introduced last year. This was the first model in their O series of reasoning models. These models differ from traditional ones in that they think longer before giving an answer, and the longer they think, the better the answer usually becomes. One of the limitations of these models was that they didn't have access to tools, and one of the really important missing tools was the ability to browse the internet. Deep research now fundamentally changes this, and as one of the developers, Isa, explains, deep research is powered by an optimized version of their upcoming O3 reasoning model. They've trained it using end-to-end reinforcement learning on difficult search and other reasoning tasks. Through this training, the model has learned to plan and execute multi-step processes. In this process, it responds to new information in real time and can even go back and change its plan if necessary. The final model can not only browse files uploaded by the user, but can also use Python tools for calculations and creating images and diagrams. It can even embed these diagrams in its final answer. Just like images from websites, and when it cites sources, it cites specific sentences and passages. The system is so advanced that it even detects when information is contradictory and then purposefully searches for clarification. What makes this system truly unique is its ability to understand and process different types of data. It can not only analyze text, but also understand complex diagrams, interpret technical drawings, process mathematical formulas, and even evaluate audio transcripts. In this process, it uses the latest developments in artificial intelligence to connect these different types of information and discover completely new connections. The resulting model is capable of solving tasks that would take humans many hours and are very complex. And as Isa explains in the presentation, it also achieves new record values in a series of public and internal evaluations. In Humanity's Last Exam, a test recently released by the Center for AI Safety and Scale AI that tests the model's capabilities across various expert topics, the model achieves a new record value of 26.6% accuracy. This test consists of about 3,000 multiple choice and short answer questions from about 100 different subjects. And what's really cool? When you see the model's thought processes and trajectories, it's very similar to how a human would solve a problem. For example, if I had a really difficult problem, Issa explains, I would also first search online to help me with the solution. And that's exactly what it does. They've seen examples where the model looked up an equation in a scientific paper for a complex physics calculation. Or in a poetry task, where the model had to identify a very specific meter for a new poem, it searched for examples from other existing poems to learn how to arrive at the answer. But let's look at a concrete example straight from the presentation. One of the product managers at OpenAI wanted to find out if it would make sense to develop a new language learning app. He asked it to analyze iOS and Android usage rates, the percentage of people who want to learn a new language, and the change in mobile penetration in recent years, with the difference between top developing countries and developing countries. He wanted this information in a formatted report with tables and a clear recommendation for the best emerging opportunities. This is a task that would normally have taken hours, but with deep research, he could start it immediately. The system came back with follow-up questions to clarify requirements exactly as a real analyst would do. Because when deep research researches for 5 to 30 minutes, you want to make sure the requirements are right from the start. After just 11 minutes, the system had thoroughly analyzed 29 different sources and created a perfectly formatted report with a detailed introduction, various adoption trends, and lots of different data. But it gets even more exciting because OpenAI is already planning the next development steps. As Mark explains, what we're launching today is just the surface of what you can imagine with deep research. Today we have a deep research agent that searches the web, but you can imagine that the same agent could connect to custom context or really to enterprise data stores. Deep research is important for their AGI roadmap. They believe in agents that work autonomously for longer and longer periods to solve very difficult tasks. And they believe that this ability to work on a task for 30 minutes really motivates much greater compute investment. Even Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, has said that it can already take on a single-digit percentage of all economically valuable tasks. Imagine what this means. We're talking about a system that can conduct complex research completely independently, analyze data, and discover new connections. A system that doesn't just summarize existing knowledge, but actively generates new knowledge. This is a giant step toward real artificial intelligence, and the most exciting thing is that we're just at the beginning. The technology will continue to improve, develop new capabilities, and solve increasingly complex tasks. We're here live watching as a new chapter in the history of technology is being written. And I can't wait to show you in the upcoming videos everything that's possible with deep research. If you liked the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And if you activate the bell, you'll even be notified when we upload a new video. Hope to see you next time. Until then, stay real,